Dear friends, this is Peter Duveen, um, your candidate for congressman for the 21st District of New York State. I'm coming to you tonight because I want you to realize how dire our situation is here in America, where we have no candidate, no major candidate fighting for nuclear arms control, fighting for the reduction of nuclear arms stockpiles, where we have been undermining the security of major nations such as Russia in order to either antagonize them or to defeat them or to marginalize them. These are all strategies that will not work, that are failed strategies to begin with, that are very bad strategies to begin with. We cannot do this to other countries and get away with it. They will not allow it. Right now we are fighting a kind of simmering battle with Russia, where we are basically supplying arms to those forces that have been attacking Russia for the past 8 or 10 years, shelling different areas of their own country with a majority of ethnic Russians in the population. Russia intervened by coming to the support of two breakaway republics that used to be a part of what we call Ukraine, the Donetsk and the Luhansk republics. And Russia, these republics had every right to call for relief from any allied countries they could. They were recognized by Russia, and then Russia came to their defense, and Russia is now on the verge of having finally freed those countries from the tremendous aggressive damage that had been done to it by the government in Kiev. And that government is basically seen around the world as merely a puppet government run by the United States, which has been trying to antagonize and demonize Russia. Now, folks, there's nothing American about demonizing Russia. Remember, Alaska was purchased from Russia a couple of centuries ago. We've always had some relationship with Russia, often a very good one. Culturally, Russia is accepted as part of the European cultural sphere, has been, always will be. It is not some separate entity from Europe. You really can't divide Russia from the NATO nations. This is totally ahistorical. And why the United States has developed such a policy is very difficult to imagine. Russia is a huge country. Russia stretches from Eastern Europe all the way to the Pacific coast. And I can understand how some policymakers may feel that they want a piece of the action that Russia is not able to give them in terms of Russia's national wealth. Well, you can try and play that game, but it may backfire on you, and that's what it looks like is actually happening. Europe can no longer take advantage of the great wealth that Russia has in terms of its natural gas and oil resources, and Europe is now suffering. These resources are meant to be shared, but the United States is making it almost impossible for Russia to share its resources with the rest of the world. Russia has a right to share and market its resources, and it is something that we should all have a right to purchase. These are the international tensions that are not really being addressed properly by Elise Stefanik, who is our current 21st District U.S. representative. Unfortunately, she has just passed, or she's working on legislation that will not allow alleged adversaries of the United States to purchase agricultural lands. This is sort of preposterous. What makes these countries adversaries? Russia has not attacked the United States. China has not attacked the United States. Iran has not attacked the United States. These are countries that have consistently desired positive relations with the United States. So, such an absurd characterization of these countries as adversaries by a U.S. representative is over the top. This sort of thing will antagonize these countries totally unnecessarily. These countries want good relationships. They have robust civilizations. They have many aspects of representative government. Whether they are perfect or not, that is a question that can be debated forever and ever. But whether they are adequate in giving their people enough freedom to express themselves while providing them with the livelihood that they need in order to continue to exist in a healthy fashion, I think these nations do. These are proud nations that have existed for thousands of years, and they have done a remarkable job, most recently, of really helping their people. The United States has no right to the resources of these countries, unless it has the cooperation of these countries to acquire these resources, and that's generally done through international markets. And these international markets, to a large degree, work. Now, the United States may want to take unfair advantage of these countries, but I think that is a preposterous policy that is only going to lead to this country's, I don't want to say doom, I want to say great detriment. The United States must begin to follow international relations, must begin not to act on this rules-based order, which is nothing more than my way or the highway. The United States is not in a position to dictate in such a manner, and it has signed international treaties that definitely contradict such kind of behavior. So, the United States should abide by the treaties it has signed, the international agreements it has signed, and relinquish the rules-based order, or whatever it wants to call its basically insane, megalomaniacal policies, and it must start to behave as one of the world's nations, not the primary nation, but one of many powers. There is no such thing as one ruling nation in the world today. There are too many powers that counterbalance a U.S. power, and it is just mistaken to try and get all of these countries to bend to America's will. And America's will is not necessarily goodwill. Elise Stefanik has not been able to oppose such misguided policies as the anti-Chinese, anti-Russian, anti-Iranian policies, even anti-North Korean policies. These are countries that need to be engaged in a positive manner. They have many things to offer the world. There's no need to antagonize them by, for example, trying to pass an agricultural bill that does not allow other countries to freely invest in agricultural resources in the United States the way the United States should be able to invest in the agricultural resources of other countries around the world. So I'm afraid I have to give Americans in New York State, in my particular district, the 21st District, an opportunity to vote otherwise than the two other candidates, I guess Castelli as a Democrat and Stefanik as a Republican, who are basically bullying the country by not providing the right kind of choice for them. I want to be a choice that the Americans within this district can rely on to provide sane and helpful policies that will add to the prosperity not only of America but throughout the world as resources are able to be shared by all countries equitably. So thank you for listening tonight. I hope to post other videos like this one that will underscore the different policy differences that I have with those that are supported by Elise Stefanik and by Mr. Castelli on the Democrat side, although he hasn't been elected as Democratic candidate. He is one of the candidates, and we'll address other candidates' statements, remarks, and the policies they espouse as well. Thank you for listening tonight. This is Peter Duveen, campaigning as representative for the 21st District of New York as U.S. representative. Thank you.